Alright, hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Daily December 2022, day... I can never remember the day. It's the 19th. I got nothing today. Yesterday, for the first time in a while, I lost subscribers from yesterday to today. I had no idea if it was because of my naughty words filled rant that I made yesterday, or you lose subscribers. That's how it works. But I am still very, very, very sick. I still can't. I have not eaten an actual meal in I think 3 or 4 days now. I have gotten to the point where my brain will let me eat a little bit of like super thin sliced lunch meat. I can do that like once a day, and my brain will let me do that if I beg it long enough. So I'm still feeling horrible right now. But because we've been on a D&D kick, and because I've brought up 4th edition quite a few different times, and I have no other topic to talk about today, I thought it would be fun if we built a D&D character again, because we did this once before and I had a ton of fun doing it. Yeah, I enjoy building 4th edition D&D characters. We could do this in 5th edition, but I've been talking about 4th edition a lot, and this is the old offline D&D character builder that doesn't exist anymore, and obviously is impossible to find anywhere ever. Most definitely, you could not find this anywhere in the world. But because of that, I want to build a D&D character, a 4th edition character, because it's fun and it's weird, and I am creatively spent right now because I don't feel good. So what I thought would be fun was actually to just build the most generic of generic characters, just to show you how many crazy things you can do even with a really boring character. So we are going to build a fighter. This is from First Player's Handbook. The Player's Handbook that I currently have, I believe, is Player's Handbook 2. I have Player's Handbook 1 somewhere. I just don't know. It's in a box somewhere. But I have the Player's Handbook 2, I think, on my shelf back there. I can't remember. But yeah, so this is the first 4th edition D&D book. It had the fighter in it. We're going to build a fighter. I don't know why they automatically make you a Dragonborn for the fighter, for the picture, but you can change the picture later. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to go and you have the builds. These don't matter. This just picks some of your abilities for you. I'm not going to do that. These are things you have to actually choose. So in combat superiority, you get a bonus to opportunity attacks equal to wisdom. And an enemy struck by your opportunity attack stops moving. So this is combat superiority is effectively what turned into the Sentinel feat. So let's do that. It's super useful. And then fighter talents, which is basically your kind of fighting style of this. Just because your one-handed weapon talent would kind of be your sword and board fighter. So I think I'm going to go with just a regular old sword and board fighter. Again, because it's super boring. As you can see, there's other things like you have Battle Rager, Vigor, or Brawler style. Where this is basically, while you wield a weapon in your primary hand and your offhand is free, or grabbing a creature, you get a bonus to AC and a +2 bonus to Fortitude. So yeah, this is like a punchy fighter, which would be cool. But I wanna build a quote unquote boring fighter. So we're gonna choose one-handed weapon talent, and we're gonna keep going. Choose your race. These are the first races. Again, they default to Dragonborn, which is fine. Dragonborn Where does it say your bonuses? Does it not say them here? There it goes, ability scores. See the race shows. Oh, you actually get to choose your race to see what uh things you get. So yeah, I mean the picture there, and it is in the player's handbook. So yeah, let's go. Yeah, for those of you wondering, fourth edition was the first time that the Dragonborn was considered a base race, and that continued into fifth edition. So you can do that. Standard racial traits. Or you can be Bozak or Kappa. I think I'm just going to go regular old. Because I think, if I remember correctly, Dragonborn should get strength and a choice between charisma and something else, which is fine for a fighter. So I'll do that. And then racial power. I'm totally getting Dragon Breath. How could I not? We're going to do Dragon Breath strength. So my Dragon Breath power is powered by my strength, because you're going to do that. And then my type, we got to have a fire-breathing dragon. I mean, how can you not? So let's move on. These are themes and backgrounds. We don't actually need any of this stuff, but it was something added later on that is really, really powerful, to be perfectly honest. But this is something that wasn't in the player's handbook or anything, so you're going to skip it. You can roll dice. You can use an array to make this as easy as possible. We're just going to auto pick it. It's going to give me strength. Gave me a racial bonus to constitution. That's weird. Why would I want that? And why would I bet dexterity? I'm going to be wearing heavy armor. I don't need dexterity. So I'm going to override this. And do that. Just because, again, we get a bonus to opportunity attacks equal to wisdom, and so I want to have some wisdom-based stuff on this. Those are the other things I loved about D&D 4th edition, was your primary stat that you use for your attack rolls and everything could be any one of these. There are constitution-based characters who their attack roll and their damage roll is based on their constitution score. You can, in 4th edition, your AC is based on either your dexterity or your intelligence, whatever is higher. So there are quite a few times where wizards had crazy high AC because they'd have a 20 in their intelligence score. So yeah, we'll do that. That's perfectly fine. And in being a fighter, having something in your constitution is very useful. So let's go. Now we get to choose things that we're trained in. I'm a fighter. Got to be athletics. Got to give me some endurance. And then because I have a charisma, or I don't have a charisma score. I don't know why I have it too. Oh, it's probably from just being a Dragonborn. Let's make me a very intimidating fighter. So there. That's what I'm trained in. Athletics, endurance, and intimidation. Very fun fighter to play. Here are my at-will powers. Now again, they added a ton of them in with things like martial power was a book that you could get that just gave you more player options, kind of like Tasha's, but because everything had powers, instead of adding new subclasses and things like that, a lot of time all you had to do was add new powers, and it would make a completely different character. Same class, just completely different character. So one of the other things I found really funny when I was talking with someone, I think it was last year or the year before, and we kind of had this challenge thing where they're like, well, I'm going to create characters in Pathfinder 2e, and it was all monks. And you go ahead and create your 5th edition monks, and or they tried to create both. And they're like, oh yeah, because all D&D classes are exactly the same. There's no customizability at all. So, but what the hell are you talking about? Of course they're customizable. And so after they did that, he and I actually just went and we both created a character. Yeah, I was able to show that I could do everything that you could do in Pathfinder 2nd edition, but I also had all these other options available because 5th edition just is more open and forgiving than definitely Pathfinder and Pathfinder 2nd edition. They're just extremely limited. Now, you have a lot of choices you can make in those games because they give you a billion different options, But once you choose an option, you are extremely limited. You basically choose options that force you to act only one way. You are hyper specialized in Pathfinder Second Edition, whereas in Fifth Edition you had all of these different options. Even after you make your choice, you can have two people playing the exact same class and subclass and still play very very differently, just based on the different choices they can make with how their character plays. So anyway, Fourth edition just had a ton of quote unquote customizability because you had all these different powers you could choose from. Let's look at. I'm trying to choose stuff just from the player's handbook because there wasn't a ton. There's Reaping Strike. So this one. So that if I'm wielding a two-handed weapon, I can do damage even on a miss, but I'm not. So I'm going to ignore that. Cleave. I like Cleave. I think it's kind of cool. Especially for a sword and board fighter, being able to like hit someone and then hit someone else with a single swing, that's kind of cool. So we'll do Cleave. Tide of Iron sounds one. And I like this because it lets you move people around, and it requires you wearing a shield, which I'm going to have. So you're going to Tide of Iron. Here's the encounter powers. Look at some of these really cool things. Like here's Covering Attack. 2 weapon plus strength damage. An ally of yours adjacent to the target can shift up to 2 squares as a free action. That's really useful. You can help your allies. It turns it into much more of a controller type class, despite the fact that this is a defender. It is a tank style class. It has some controlling aspects that are really fun. Let's see this one, passing attack. This one's kind of cool too because you basically get to attack twice. And you move between the attacks, which is not something you can do in 5th edition. So that one's kind of cool. Spinning Sweep. This one's also cool. You can knock a target prone or Steel Serpent Strike. I think I like Spinning Sweep the most because knocking a prone is really useful for the rest of your party. So I'm going to do that. And then my first daily power. What cool stuff do we have here? We have Brute Strike, which is just damage. You just hit them really, really hard. Like, that's all you do is you just... Comeback Strength sounds cool. You can spend a Healing Surge. Oh! A self-heal, effectively. That's kind of cool. That would be very useful. Let's see. Villain's Menace. Oh, this one's kind of cool. You gain a bonus to attack rolls and damage rolls against the target. So this is literally just love you. I like that. I like that for my really boring fighter. Feats, different things you can do. These are racial feats. So it says when you hit an enemy with martial power, you can expend your dragon breath and do extra damage to that enemy. That's boring. I want something cool. Oh, this is cool. Oh, I'm totally doing that. So this changes your dragon breath from everybody in the area you're attacking to only your enemies. So you basically bend your dragon breath around other people. We're totally doing that. This is getting stuff. This is how you get stuff. You start out with 100 gold. I don't remember if they actually had default equipment for your class before. But I know what I always get. You always buy an adventurer's kit. Gets backpack, bedroll, flint, steel. Useful stuff. So I always buy an adventurer's kit. Armor. I always get whatever is the... Oh, I want a heavy shield. So we're going to get a heavy shield. And then I get whatever is the toughest stuff I can get. For this one, he's going to be scale armor. So we'll do that. I don't know why I can't use Splint Mail Full Plate. Maybe that's just because he's too low level to be able to get it, but Scale Armor is perfectly fine. And Scale Armor lowers my speed by 1, which isn't a huge deal. And then weapons. I need a weapon. And again, we're going to do just your standard kind of sword and board. So if you're wondering, anything red... this class doesn't come with that built in. Now, there's a bunch of feats you can take that will give you proficiency with anything. But right now, these are the things that I'm actually proficient in. So we have broadsword I could do. I could do a battle axe. Should be kind of cool, but nah. The Jada, glaive. Glaive's two-handed though, and I don't want that. Great sword hand. I think I'm gonna stick with the spike gauntlet. I could punch things, which would be fun. Warpick, Warhammer. I like Warhammers. All right, and then this is all like special stuff. So I'm gonna go all the way back to the top. Battle axe. I thought there was. I can't remember what it was called now. There was a special kind of sword that was only in full blade, and I can't have that. All right, so I think I'm just gonna go with the broadsword because it's pretty simple and easy. Just gonna buy the broadsword. I got $10 left. I don't really have anything else that I need, and it automatically equips it on me. If you want it to show up on your character sheet, you need to put it in here. So we go next, and then this is everything. Not going to save the character or anything like that. What we are going to do... Oh, let's give him a name. Name of this fighter. What do we want to call... What are we going to call this fighter? We are going to call this fighter... he's a Dragonborn. Let's call him... And because he's fire, he could either be gold or red, because those are both fire-based. So let's go Red Dragon. We can call him Gorth. Gorth is nice. Gorth seems like a dragon-type name. Or, you know what I could do? I could just do a random name. Shurina? No. Para. Haran. Surina. Rain. Beery. Dar. Let's go Dar. I like Dar. Dar, the Dragonborn fighter. So normally this would be where you save the character and you can put in other stuff like that too. But I'm going to click on this button. Level up. And we're going to make an epic level. We're going to make an epic level fighter. Just to show you how nonsense this became once you got to epic level. So we're going to level up. And then I have a ton of different choices to make. So we're going to go here. So level 2, I get a utility power. The way that the colors work here, anything red is an encounter. Anything black is going to be a daily. Anything green is going to be an at-will power. So just how often you can use them. Endless endurance. Regeneration while you are bloodied. That's not bad. So that's kind of cool. Here's another one. Get over here. Oh, come on. Ha! I like this. So this effectively, you slide a target up to 2 squares to a square adjacent to you. So you can basically move an ally, and because it's a slide and not a push or a pull, you move them in any direction as long as the end square is adjacent to you. So that's another one of those kind of control-based ones. What's this? No opening. Well, this just allows you to stop them from having combat advantage. And then unstoppable. So this is just, you get temporary hit points. Since again, I'm trying to stick with just the stuff that's in the player's handbook, just to show you that even with just the player's handbook, there's so many cool things. I think I like Get Over Here the most. Because, I mean, who doesn't? Who wouldn't want to do that? To do that, we get another encounter power. Bull Charge sounds familiar, except I can't. Axe, hammer, or mace. So that would be kind of cool. That's another thing that fighters would get special bonuses depending on the weapon that they were using. So Crushing Blow. I don't have an axe, hammer, or mace, so I wouldn't get the extra damage. Dance of Steel. Armor, Heavy Blade. I think I am wielding a heavy blade. Let's check. Broadsword. Do you count as a heavy blade? Group, Heavy Blade. Yep. So we can go back. So Dance of Steel, I would get this, and it would immobilize them until the end of the next turn, so that's kind of interesting. Lots of different things could be useful there, especially if you have a way to move them. You could basically, I could immobilize them, and then someone else on the team could just move them so that they're not next to someone, and they could effectively have to waste their turn. So I like that. Precise strike. This just gives me a bonus to accuracy. It gives me a +4 to my attack roll. So just, again, precise strike means I'm going to hit it more. This one's kind of cool. So this allows you to make 2 attacks, but if you're a dexterity-based fighter, or not dexterity-based, because you're still going to be strength-based, but you have a decently high dexterity, and you're using a flail, light blade, or a spear, you can actually make 3 attacks with this, which is kind of cool. This still gives you 2 attacks with the one I have, which is fun. I think I'm really, really liking the Dance of Steel one. Because technically I'm going to do a similar amount. I'm going to do more damage with this because that one is just 1 weapon damage. This is a weapon damage plus strength, or 2 weapon plus strength. So this will do more damage and I can immobilize him. So do that. My 5th level daily. Bare Knuckle Rebuke. I have to look at this. Misses with a melee attack. You must have a hand free. Oh, so this is definitely that brawling style. You just punch people. That's fun. So let's look at this. Crack the Shell. Crack the Shell, I know this one. Because in the first live Acquisitions Incorporated game, Scott Kurt's character used this one. So, does damage. The target takes an ongoing 5 damage and a -2 penalty to AC. So you make them bleed and you destroy their armor, which is really, really fun. And that's something this particular fighter is probably going to do a lot, is just bleeding enemies out. What else do we have? We have Dizzying Blow. Target is immobilized. So this would be another immobilize, but I already have something I can immobilize. So I don't think I would want that. One. Rain of Steel. Till the stance end, any enemy that starts its turn adjacent to you takes 1 weapon damage, but only if you're able to make opportunity attacks. This is cool. So you turn on so the way this works, you turn on this stance, and then any enemy that starts its turn adjacent to you takes 1 weapon damage. So there's no attack roll or anything. You just get an auto hit to them as long as you don't have something that's preventing you from making opportunity attacks. That's really cool. This is another one that works really well when you have a team that's working together really well. So yeah, I really like Rain of Steel. I would definitely want to do that, because again, fighters are defenders in general are meant to be the people that are inviting attacks against them. So this would be, I like that. I'm gonna choose Rain of Steel. Again, all these are in the player's handbook. Get another utility power. Roll initiative and dislike the result. You get a +10 bonus to your initiative. That's cool. There's not a ton of fighter utility powers. There's still there's racial utility powers, and then there are skill utility powers as well. This is the other one. Damage. You're hit and damaged by an attack. Damage is reduced by 5. So this is literally just a way to lessen the damage, kind of like Uncanny Dodge for rogues. So I like that. That's super useful. Are there any skill powers that I really want from the player? See, all the skill powers are in Player's Handbook 3, at least for the fighter. So I think I'm going to stick with this. Now we go to level 7 encounter powers. So what cool stuff do I get here? Let's come and get it. Sounds fun. Close burst 3. So a close burst means you are the center of the burst, and it goes out 3 squares. Everything's measured in squares. So this is close burst 3. So every enemy you can see in the burst, strength versus will, you pull the target up to 2 squares, but only if it can end the pull adjacent to you. If the target is adjacent to you after the pull, it takes 1 weapon damage. So if you combine this with the Rain of Steel, you would come and get it. Every enemy within 3 squares of you. So because you are the center, that means you are looking at a total area of a square that is 7 squares by 7 squares, effectively. Because that gets every enemy. So that is a massive, that's effectively a 35-foot on a side square. So that's a very large thing, and this could effectively be used to get every square around you filled. Um, so I 100% am choosing that. I don't care about the other ones. That's cool. Level 9 daily power. And then, let's see, what do we got here? And again, I'm limiting myself to the player's handbook, just because, again, this is the basic version of the fighter in 4th edition. This is effectively your champion fighter in 5th edition with no feats. So if you compare what a champion fighter with no feats can do compared to a 4th edition fighter, 4th edition fighter is a lot more fun to play than a basic fighter in 5th edition. And definitely more fun to play than a 3rd edition basic fighter. Because the fighters were super boring to play in 3rd edition. So let's check here. So shift the battlefield. Each menu you can see in the burst. So this is close burst 1. So this is basically everyone adjacent to you. So again, combining these things. Now again, the daily they're both standard actions, so you'd have to do the daily one first. But the daily one lasts until the end of combat, and then Unbreakable will be the next thing that you do. Or is Reign of Steel a? Oh, Reign of Steel is a minor action. So you could Reign of Steel. Unbreakable is or not Unbreakable. Come and Get It is a standard action. So your first turn would be Reign of Steel. Come and Get It, and then your next turn could be Shift the Battlefield. Yeah, that would be interesting, but you have to slide the targets, and I'm not sure I'd wanted to do that. Thicket of Blades. This is another close burst. Oh, this could be really, really damaging. So each enemy you can see in the burst, 3 weapon damage plus 5, and the target is slowed, save ends. And so that would be really, really useful with that. The other one they have is Vicious Surge. And this is just a heal that actually doesn't cost a healing surge, so that's cool. I think I like Thicket of Blades better because it slows them as well, which would be lots of fun. So, yeah, we're gonna choose that, and then we get a utility power at level 10, and then we have to go off of this screen because we get to pick our Paragon path, which is super fun. So let's see. Here's the first one. Into the Fray. Move up to 3 squares, but only if you can end the move adjacent to an enemy. That would be another thing that would really benefit our Reign of Steel. And we're basing all of this on a daily power, but still. And there's a lot of different things that would make this very, very useful, because this is a minor action, so this is an addition to your movement. So that's very useful. Another player's handbook. You're hit by an attack, you take no damage from the attack, but you are stunned and take a mounted. Ooh, don't like that. That would be a really, really I'm going to die if I take this attack kind of thing, because stunned is not a great condition. Till the stance end, you get a +1 shield bonus to AC. Allies get a +1 shield bonus to AC while adjacent to you, and if you're using a shield, they get a +2 bonus to AC and reflex. So that's a very defensive one. We haven't really done any defensive kind of stuff because we've been more focused on getting enemies next to us, and I think I like the Into the Fray a lot better. So we do that. Before you can choose your new power, you must lose a power you already have. So this is the other thing. To keep you from having like 47,000 powers, as you get to higher levels, you basically replace low-level abilities with high-level abilities. So I have to get rid of Spinning Sweep, Dance of Steel, or Come and Get It in order. Oh wait, no, this is the level 13. I'm not going to deal with that just yet. So we'll come back to this in a second because we need to do what? Where do I choose? I think it's under class. Yeah, so I get to pick a Paragon path. So, and first things first, I got to check how they do their marking again because I've forgotten. Guardian Tempest, combat agility, we've already done that. Combat challenge. Every time you attack an enemy, whether the attack hits or miss, you can mark them. So yeah, that's how they mark by just anytime they attack someone, they can mark them. And marking is again, if they try to attack someone other than you, they get a penalty to their attack roll. Because the fighter was basically the first defender, their mark is the kind of default version of the mark. There's nothing special about it compared to like a sword mage, where your mark, when they do hit someone that's not you, you can do special stuff like teleport to them or teleport them to you, stuff like that. So Paragon Paths. These are effectively your subclass. When you get to level 11, you choose a Paragon Path. And this is what starts the Paragon tier. And each Paragon Path comes with a bunch of different things you can do with it. So the ones that are available in the Player's Handbook that I qualify for are these four here. As you can see, Player's Handbook 2 added another one. And then these are all the ones that were added by a bunch of other things as well. You know, they would show up in Dragon Magazine, the Martial Power books, Book of Vile Darkness, Manual of the Planes. You know, all these are different Paragon Paths. So we're just going to stick with the stuff that's in the Player's Handbook. So, Iron Vanguard. So this is basically how Paragon Paths will work. Is they give you additional abilities and stuff like that, and will upgrade you in a certain way and kind of point you towards a certain kind of combat style thing. So this, when you reduce an enemy to 0 hit points, you gain hit points equal to your con. So that's okay. When you spend an action point, this is something every Paragon Path has, is they give you a bonus to using your action point. So you spend an action point and take an extra action. You also get a plus 4 bonus to all defenses until the start of your next turn. In addition, if you drop to 0 hit points or fewer and have not spent an action point during this encounter, you can use an immediate interrupt to spend the action point to take the extra action. So that basically means if somebody reduces you to 0 hit points, you can instantly get like a final blow against them before you're knocked unconscious. So that's kind of cool. And when you push a creature or knock a creature prone, it takes damage equal to your con. We have one ability that knocks a creature prone, but we will eventually be replacing it. So it's okay. And then the powers that you get from it. And you push a target 1 square, then shift square toward the target. And then if you do that, each ally within 2 squares of you can shift. So again, more of a control kind of thing. Inexorable shift. You shift. Oh, this allows you to basically shift into someone else's square and just push them out of it. That's really nice. And then at level 20, you get this ability, which is 4 weapons plus strength, and you push a target 1 square and knock it prone. In addition, the target is dazed until the end of your next turn, and you get a healing surge. So yeah, this is very much a very tough. The one Kensei, this Kensei shows up in 5th edition. It was a kit in 2nd edition, if I remember correctly, and I think it was what were they called in Prestige class? It was a Prestige class, I think, in 3rd edition. It roughly translates it as Sword Saint, and basically someone that's just really into their sword. So you can use your action point to just re-roll stuff, which is and you get a +1 bonus to weapon attack rolls with a melee weapon of your choice. So this just, every time I make an attack with my specific Sword Saint weapon, which will be a broadsword for this character, I get a +1 bonus to weapon attack rolls with it. And then Kensei Mastery, when I get to 60th level, you get a +1 bonus to damage rolls with the same weapon you selected for Kensei Focus. If you ever use a different kind of weapon, you lose this benefit and the benefit of Kensei Focus until you take a short rest. So this really locks you into you use one weapon. But it has a lot of useful things in it. So this is just a standard, more accurate attack. Ultimate parry, you take damage from an attack. The damage used by now is equal to your level. That's nice. And then the daily attack uh, is nuts. So, 3 weapon strength modifier, target falls prone and is immobilized until the end of your next turn. If it doesn't have a speed, it can't stay up, so it just stays there. You shift up to 5 squares, then can make a secondary attack. 2 weapon plus strength. The target falls prone and is immobilized. You shift 5 squares, make a tertiary attack. 1 weapon strength modifier, target falls prone and is mobilized. Like, that is really cool. Watching, again, a sword and board fighter just come in and go, ooh, foong, shing, knock you down, run over, foong, shing, knock you down, run over, foong, shing, knock you down. Like, that's cool. I think I'm kind of sold on the Kensei. So, yeah, I'm going to go Kensei. And then you also have to pick your focus. We already have a broadsword, so we're going to go Kensei focus broadsword. And then Epic Destinies we'll deal with when we get to that level. Let's go back to powers because we have more. So, starting at level 13, you start replacing powers instead of just getting new ones. And generally what you want to do, unless you have a low-level attack power that you really like, the Paragon powers are always going to be more powerful than the stuff you got in Heroic tier. So you basically, like, this is my level 1 fighter attack. And it's nice. Strength modifier, knock the target prone. It's nice, but it was my level 1 ability. So replacing it with a level 13 ability is just the best, especially compared to the other two are just better than that. So we're going to go here. I'm going to lose that power. And now we get these. So Anvil of Doom. So this one specifically hammer or mace. So we're not going to do that because I don't have a hammer or mace. Chains of Sorrow. This is kind of interesting. So 3 weapon plus strength, and target takes a -2 penalty to all defense until the end of next turn, which is cool. But if I was using a flail, it would take a penalty to all defenses equal to my dex. So that's kind of cool. And again, it means you can make a dex-based fighter. It'd be a really cool one. To be perfectly honest, remember they gave me a +4 or a 14 in my dex? I'm starting to understand why they did that. There's a lot of that. Giant's Wake. This is another one that's got an axe. There has to be something that lets me use a sword. Silverstone. That sounds cool. Spiller polearm. I'm not wearing that. Storm of Blows. Really, heavier light blade. Okay, cool. This one at least gives me something for a heavier light blade. I think I'm going to get rid of the wisdom and go to dexterity because everything seems to be dexterity based in this. So 1 weapon strength. If you're wielding a heavy blade or light blade, you get a bonus to the damage roll equal to your dexterity modifier. And after the attack, you can shift 1 square and repeat the attack against another creature within reach. You can shift 1 square, repeat the attack against a third creature. So this just, you get to just do a lot of stuff. Let's see what Talons of the Rock is. So that would slow, but I wouldn't get the extra stuff, which is just they can't shift, but it does a lot more damage. But this one lets me attack 3 different people. And does extra damage based on my dex. So it'd be 1 weapon plus 6. Which really isn't that great. I like Talon of the Rock because it just does that and it slows them. And it's a really powerful attack. So I'm going to choose that. And then again, we get to replace. So Villain's Menace was my first level 1. And this is the one that just, I got extra stuff to them. So since it's my lowest one, that generally is how you do it. You don't have to, but because there's a very good chance that I'm not going to be replacing Reign of Steel anytime soon because it's just useful. Let's do that. And then look at the cool stuff. So Dragon Fang. Like twin fangs piercing flesh, you deliver 2 attacks in rapid succession. This is kind of cool. So 1 or 2 creatures, and if you target only 1 creature, you get to attack it twice. So this effectively does 6 weapon plus strength modifier twice. And if I miss, I get half damage. So this is really just like really, really fast. There's Handbook. Serpent Dance Strike. So this, again, I have a bonus because of my Kensei. Anytime I knock a target prone, I get cool stuff. So this would be useful. Then after the attack, you can shift one square and repeat the attack against another creature within reach. You can then shift one. So this is another one where I just keep making more and more attacks, and each time I'm knocking the target prone, which works really well with my Paragon Path. So totally going to choose that. And then we go up to utility powers. Apparently utility powers you just don't replace. You just keep getting more and more utility powers. So let's go here. Interposing Shield. An ally adjacent to you is hit by an attack. Gains +2 power points to AC, and if you're using a shield, it's +4. Which would be useful, but again, this character is built around being surrounded by enemies all the time. So I don't know how useful that would be for me. This is a minor action. I can spend a healing surge, regain additional hit points equal to 2d6 plus con, and make a saving throw. That's really, really useful. What else do we have? Surprise Step. Interesting. So this just, if an enemy leaves, I can do an immediate reaction to do it. But a lot of times, again, because I'm opportunity attack, my reaction is going to be an opportunity attack, not surprise step. So I think we're going to stick with, which one was it called? Iron Warrior. It's a daily, but it's a good daily. So we're going to do that. Now again, I get to replace something. This is my third. So this is the thing that I did damage, but I also could immobilize him. Yeah, I mean, it's useful, but I have so many things that are kind of immobilizing anyways. So I'm going to go, I'm going to get rid of Dance of Steel and see what other cool stuff I can get. So, Player's Handbook, Exacting Strike. This is just, here is, well, this is your strength score +6 versus AC. So this is just you're never going to miss with this. But it does nothing else but just do damage. So it's kind of a downgrade from Dance of Steel. Well, that's kind of cool. I can basically cause it to drop something. That's interesting. That could be a lot of fun. Harrying Assault. And then this basically allows me to move a number of squares up to my Dex mod and make a melee basic attack. Which, because I'm strength based, is already going to be a pretty hefty attack. So this would basically be multiple attacks. And then Mountain Breaking Blow. You push the target 3 squares. Oh, this is kind of cool. You must end this movement adjacent to the target. So the only problem with this is if I was to push him off a cliff, the DM would have to rule if I pushed him off the cliff if I'd not be allowed to make this, because it says you must end the movement adjacent to the target. If I push him off a cliff, I'm not going off the cliff with him. But other than that, that's still really, really useful and a lot of movement. And I got 2 more. Vorpal Tornado. There's another close burst 1. Each enemy you see in the burst. And you can push the target 1 square and knock it prone. I like that. I like knocking targets prone. It's very useful in this. And then Warrior's Challenge. This is really useful. Alright, so this is one of the few things that lets a fighter mark more than one enemy. So what this does, make the attack, do damage, I push him up to 2 squares. Every enemy within 2 squares of that enemy becomes marked by me. And so they all want to focus on me. And if I have Rain of Steel going, that means they'll all come up to me and possibly get hit when they start their turn next time next to me. So that could be cool. I could enjoy it. I think I like that. I like that. Now I'm getting a daily power at 19. So I could get rid of Rain of Steel. But I also have Thunder of Blades, which was, again, this is a close burst 1. Each enemy you can see in the burst, and I thought that'd be cool with Rain of Steel. We've gotten a lot of use out of Rain of Steel in this imaginary campaign where we've played from level 1 all the way up to level 19 now. So I don't know, because I don't have any other stances. And I really like the idea of this stance. Thicket of Blade does a lot of damage, but it's a close burst 1. I think I'm going to keep Rain of Steel. It's normally not what you do, but I want to try this and see what happens. So We can do that. Let's see what I can do. So, Devastation's Wake is still a close burst 1. Each enemy you can see in the burst. 3 open fire. Until the start of your next turn, you can use secondary power at will. Secondary power, enemy starts his turn adjacent to you. Oh, wow. So, yeah, as a free action. So this basically is kind of an upgrade, because this is until the start of your... this is only until the start of my next turn. So this is best used when you're surrounded by enemies, because basically at the start of each of the enemy's turns, you get to attack them. So just slightly more damage than Rain of Steel, because it's 1 weapon plus strength, but you have to actually make the attack roll. So it's okay, and it does, good damage for a close burst. Let's see what else they have. Reaving Strike. This is nice. So it's no longer a close burst, which kind of sucks, but I have other stuff I can do area damage on. This, however, 5 weapon plus strength, and I can push the target. Some more control stuff. I'm into it. And then Strike of the Watchful Guard. 4 weapon plus 5. To the end of the counter, you can make a melee basic attack against the target as a free action if you are adjacent to it and it either shifts or attack one of your allies. So this is kind of an alternate form of a mark. Which is okay, but I think I like Reaving Strike the best. So do that. And then, again, we're up to level 22, so we're going to pick our Epic Destiny. So we're going to go back to class. I'm going to pick Epic Destiny. So, again, we have... These are all essential stuff. So the Player's Handbook just had 2 that we could do just from the Player's Handbook. However, as you can see, there's a bunch of other ones. Like Martial Power had a bunch of different ones. Dragon had a bunch of different ones that you could get. And then they also had a books on a lot of the races that would give you racial Epic Destinies and Paragon Paths. We're going to just, again, stick with the Player's Handbook, just to show you what the basic version of the fighter was. So, Demigod. So the Epic Destinies, you are becoming, again, something like a demigod. We're basically gods. That's a 4th edition mindset. And it kind of explains what your kind of goal is going to be going from 21 to 30. What are you going to be doing? And, it's going to mention that these are kind of plot points that your character might be going through for like a personal plot. But here's the features. You get to increase 2 ability scores of your choice by 2 each. Nice. At 24th level, every class in 4th edition at 24th level, I think it is. It's what it is here. I think it is for all of them. At 24th level, you get a Get Out of Death free card, which is basically you get something happens, and when you're reduced to 0 the first time each day, you just get to do something. So for this one, the first time you're reduced to 0 hit points or fewer each day, you regain hit points equal to half your maximum hit points. So, they hit you, you go down, you immediately stand back up and go, you trying to start something? So this is literally just a Get Out of Death free card. And then Divine Miracle. The first time you expend your last remaining encounter attack power during an encounter, you regain the use of 1 encounter attack power of your choice. So that's kind of cool. It means you can just burn through encounter powers a little bit more. And then the 1 demigod power you get is at 26. You gain regeneration equal to your highest ability score until the end of the counter, which for this character is going to be strength, and it's going to be in the 20s. So every turn you would get 20 some odd hit points. So that's pretty damn powerful. This is why high-level 4th edition D&D was a nightmare for DMs, because it was nearly impossible to kill 4th edition players. You didn't kill them. You had to come up with interesting combats where the lose condition wasn't, they took all of your hit points away. You had to have really creative lose conditions and really interesting stuff going on. Or you had to have crazy powerful monsters. And it just wasn't as much fun. So that's the demigod. The Eternal Seeker is the other one. So you continue to search for your ultimate destiny, but that doesn't stop you from participating, some say interfering, in world-shaking events. So here's the features. When you gain a class, encounter, or daily power by gaining a level, you can choose your new power from any class. This is broken. Learning a power doesn't necessarily equip you with all the attributes required to use the power. For example, a fighter who learns a wizard spell as an Eternal Seeker would not gain the ability to use implements that make casting wizard spells more effective. Therefore, you're usually better off learning powers that are compatible with what you already know. This is like the Bard ability in 5th edition. This is effectively that. I get to choose any power I want. So that could become nonsense very, very quickly. When you spend an action point to take an extra action, you also get an extra action on your next turn. The extra action you take on your next turn doesn't benefit from any abilities, such as many Paragon paths here, that affect what happens when you spend an action point. Okay? And then you get a 22nd level utility power from any class, and then you get the 24th level Epic Destiny feature from any other Epic Destiny that you qualify for. So this one, the thing that surprises me the most is you don't have a get out of death free power. I thought all Epic Destinies had them, but you don't. Theoretically, though, Seeking Destiny will give you a get out of death free power. And because of how broken this is, normally, like, this would be the one for me because it'll create a nonsense kick a character. However, since we're already 51 minutes into this, I don't want to have to play with every single class picking their encounter or daily powers. So I think we're going to go with Demigod. Demigod's still cool. So we're going to do that. Let's choose Demigod. And then the Divine Spark. We're going to go Strength. Because again, you get that... and it lets me choose another one. And I think... because I have that thing that gives me a bonus to Dexterity one. I'm going to go Con just so I can take more hits. There we go. So we got that. Again, we don't use the build because that's boring. So we got all that. We're going to go back to the powers. Go back to the cool stuff that I can do. So another utility power, so I don't have to give anything up. Players have active desperation. Now that 10 squares must be dying, and you must not have spent an action point during this encounter. You gain an action point that you must spend this turn. That's interesting. So, as a minor action, if one of your allies is dying, which means they're at 0 hit points, not dead, dying, you gain an action point that you must spend this turn. You can only use one action point per encounter, so that would be your counterpoint for... This is basically a free action point. So that's really useful. What else do we have? We have this one, No Surrender. You have 0 points. You gain enough hit points to bring you to half your maximum hit points. However, you take a -2 penalty to attack rolls to the end of the encounter. So this is another one that's just a get out of death free card. So you combine this with the other one. They're both dailies, but you get 2 get out of death frees, which is kind of cool. Especially if you are playing a tank, which we are. I think I'm going to go with that. So I just like the idea of, oh, did I say I was out of get out of death free cards? Nope. So do that. And then I have to get rid of something. Again, Come and Get It was the one that I really liked because it worked. It worked really well with the Rain of Steel. It was effectively a way to get 2 weapon damage. If we go Talon of the Rock, I don't like Talon of the Rock as much, and I really like Come and Get It. So I'm going to get rid of Talon of the Rock instead of Come and Get It, because I like Come and Get It, which you can do. So we'll do that. What cool stuff do I get? So we're going to here, Cage of Chains. This is another one's Flail. 4 weapon plus strength, and you can do cool stuff, but we don't have that. Fangs of Steel. Light or heavy blades, this is cool. Bonus to dex. So 3 weapon plus strength, make the secondary attack. 1 creature adjacent to the primary within reach, strength or AC. 2 weapon plus 6, and it just gets extra to the damage. So this is another double it to attack against 2 different creatures, which again, that would mean I could mark both of them. That's the other thing, is anytime you get extra attacks against different creatures as a fighter, you can mark each one of them. Each creature you attack, you can mark. So I think I like that. But I want to see what they have. Those Hack and Slash. And this is just 4 weapon plus 6, which is fine. Another player one, Paralyzing Strike. This is cool. You score a critical hit if you got a pick, pole arm, or spear. But I'm not using any of those, and the Skull Crushers is your hammer. 4 weapon plus 6. Target is dazed. And blinded if you have a hammer or mace. But I think I'm going to go with Fangs of Steel because, again, it allows me to mark more creatures. Do that. Now we have to replace another one. We do Rain of Steel. I still like that. I don't want to get rid of it. This is a 15th level attack power, though. See, I think I'm going to get rid of Rain of Steel, which sucks, but especially since I haven't been... I kept Come and Get It, but maybe I'll replace Come and Get It next. But, yeah, I mean, I don't want to get rid of Serpent Dance Strike. I definitely don't want to get rid of Reaving Strike, because those are both really powerful. So I'm going to get rid of... Finally, you know, we're all the way at level... What are we at now? What is it? 25? We're at 25. Rain of Steel we have been using for, like, 20 levels at this point, or maybe, like, 15 levels. It is done good. Was it? Yeah, we've been using it for 20 levels now, so get rid of losing that. And then let's see the cool stuff we got here. So here's my player's handbook stuff. Reaper Stance. Till the stance end, whenever you use a fighter attack power, you can crit on a 19 or 20. You get power bonus to damage rolls equal to your dex. In addition, any enemy that starts its turn adjacent to you takes 1 weapon damage plus 10 ongoing damage saves end, but only if you make... So this is an upgraded Reign of oh, I love it. We're taking that. We're definitely taking that. I love it. So now we got to replace something again. Warriors Challenge. Which one was this? Push target 2 squares. That's one that lets me mark a shit ton of ones. Come and Get It is really useful, but it's getting old. What else do we have? Fangs of Steel, which I just got. No, alright, Come and Get It we're going to get rid of. We got rid of the other one before and we were perfectly fine, so we're going to try this. So, see, what do we have? Player's Handbook. Cruel Reaper. Close burst 1, each one you can see in the burst. 2 up in strength, shift 2 squares. Make a secondary attack. Each enemy... Wow! This lets me do a lot. Because I... Close burst 1, so every creature next to me, I hit with this. And then... I move and do the exact same thing again. Theoretically, because I can shift up to 2 squares, I could shift and shift back and just do this again. Which is really, really nice. Diamond Shield Defense. 4 weapon strength. Take half damage from the target's attack at the end of your next turn. And you get a +2 power bonus to AC. That's really strong. And it's shield based. We got a shield. Dominable Battle Strike. This is another one that's really, really useful. So this is 1 creature, 4 weapon plus strength, but you mark each enemy within 10 squares of you until the end of your next turn. So this, you mark everybody. That's like 10 squares is 50 feet. So 50 feet in every direction. That's, you know, 105-foot square. Everybody is marked by this. So that's really cool. But I think I really liked that Cruel Reaper, though, because that was cool. I think I'm going to go with Cruel Reaper, because this will still let me mark just about everybody. So yeah, I think I'm going to do Cruel Reaper, because that's just cool. And then I've got to sacrifice a power, because now we're at Fighter Daily 29. So, really like this, been using this since 15. Reaving Strike. You know what? I think I like Serpent Dance Strike better than Reaving Strike, because all this does is you can push the target and it does a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to lose Reaving Strike. And then look at the cool stuff that I got. So we got Force into Battle. You assume the Force the Battle stance. Until the stance ends, your fighter at will and encounter weapon attacks deal a weapon extra damage. Nice. In addition, once per round when an enemy starts its turn adjacent to you, you can use a fighter at will attack power against it as a free action. So this... so because what was it called? Reaper's Stance is a daily. It only lasts for a single encounter. So Force the Battle would be the other stance that I could put myself into. You can't be in both of them at once. You can only be in one stance at once. but this would basically just give me another really useful stance that I can use, um, and gives me bonuses when enemies start their turn adjacent to me. So lots of use in that, and just gives me extra damage too. So that's very, very useful. No mercy. Wow, 7 weapon damage plus strength. So that's just a lot of damage. Just killing everything. Or we can do Storm of Destruction. And this is 1 or 2 Kuka creatures, so it can multi-attack. I really like just having an extra stance. I think that's fun. And it gives me extra damage and lots of powerful stuff. More powerful than most other things. So we're going to do that. Definitely. That is all my powers chosen. So we're going to go next. We have a crap ton of feats to choose. So this is where things start getting really crazy. All right. So, mark creatures hit with dragon breath. Oh, this is cool. Again, because it's a fundamental aspect of the Kuka class, I like things that allow me to mark stuff. So yeah, I think I'm definitely going to use. I'm going to do Daunting Breath. You notice I haven't even looked at the class feats because there's tons of really, really. Oh, and look at this. Agile Superiority. Use Dex in place of Wisdom. So yeah, totally. I'm going to choose this because we're going to go back to ability scores and we're going to change this back to what they had before, to where this is 14 because I don't need the Wisdom now. We'll deal with this in a second here. But I don't need the Wisdom now, so I can just use, literally just Strength and Dex and do crazy awesome things. So let's go back to we're on feats. So we're going to keep that, and then I'm going to do Daunting Breath, because I like that. Mark creatures. And then this would be, because your Dragon Breath, if I remember correctly, is... Dragon Breath is an encounter power, so I can use this every encounter, and it's normally Close Blast 3, which is basically a 3x3 square that you are on one side of. And it only hits enemies with the way we have it right now. So I think I'm just going to Dragon Breath, which uses Blast 5, and I just have this awesome 25-foot square of marking power that I can do every encounter, which is really, really nice. So I'm going to do that. This is even more. May use Dragon Breath as an area attack, burst 2 within 10. So I could just target an area that is basically... Burst 2 would be 1, 2. So yeah, that would still be a 5x5 square. So that could be even easier. I could mark targets from further away. No, I think I'm good. I already have the thing I want. Okay, so what else do we got? Grant flanking, ally ability to reroll 1s on melee damage with a shield against your combat challenge attack deals extra damage. Oh, so, and this is another thing where you will have class feats that take into effect your race. So this is specifically for Dragonborn fighters. So with the combat challenge, which is basically when people move next to me, I can get a free attack against them. I do extra damage. Dragonclaw mark. Oh, this is kind of cool. So creatures marked by you take strength modifier extra damage from Dragon Breath. That's kind of cool. So I would need to mark them first. I don't think I like that. Shield bonus applies to will defense. That would be useful. Fighter weapon specialization. With attack, use a weapon of the style you chose for the fighter weapon talent class feature. So yeah, this is just extra damage. Don't do that. Improve vigor, marked fury. This would be very, very useful for this character, because basically what it is, if an adjacent enemy that is marked by you makes an attack that doesn't include you as a target, it takes a penalty to the attack roll equal to either -2 or the number of adjacencies, enemies adjacent to you, whichever is worse. So this just soups up my mark as long as they're adjacent to me, which is what I'm trying to do. So that's if I was powerful strike. Choose a power strike power as a regular encounter. Oh, I've already chosen all my powers. I don't care about that. One square, shield resurgent for shield. Second wind bonus lasts until end of the next turn. You gain wisdom modifier, additional hit points. Also applies to fortitude. I'm liking these things that just give me extra bonuses to fortitude. Attack when you use a shield. Ignore resistances with combat challenge. So if they're resistant, they're not. When I do it... Nope, I don't care about that. Alright, so what do I want? I think I like the fact, the idea of when I hit them, I basically do extra elemental damage. So I'm cool with that. Let's choose that. And I get one more heroic tier 1. I think you're going to go back here because there's a lot of cool stuff. Bloody Dragonborn Frenzy would be fun. Especially since I'm getting the crap kicked out of me all the time because everyone's attacking me, I'll do Dragonborn Frenzy. Okay, so now you'll see we're going into the Paragon level feats. You'll see 11th level are the ones that need that. One creature hit by Dragon Breath takes con modifier ongoing. I can set them on fire. That's cool. Crits with Dragon Breath deal an ongoing 10 damage. So anytime I crit, I set them on fire. Dragonborn Zeal. I swap this utility power Dragonborn Zeal. I don't like that. This is cool. So when you use Dragon Breath, your next melee weapon attack deals an extra weapon damage on hit. So this is basically I breathe on you and I set my sword on fire, which I think I like that. And then in Power Dragon Breath, it uses D10s instead of D6s. I'm definitely doing that because I'm going to be breathing on everything. So let's do that first. Because I need that. Opportunity Breath. Use Dragon Breath as an opportunity attack. That would be hilarious. Do you imagine that? Like they try to go away and you go, no, no, no. Blah! That would be super fun. Do I want to do that? Well, let's look at this. 11 level, Dex 15 fighter. Ignore speed penalty for chainmail. Mark penalty is -3. That would be kind of cool. Target dazed by mace attack. I don't have that. Deal strength modifier damage to enemies you push or knock prone. That would be very, very useful. Just extra damage. I'm definitely doing that. Let's go back up to class feats to see what other stuff. Combat challenge. 11 level fighter. Dizzying mace. I don't do that. 11th level fighter. Slow enemies you push, pull, or slide with attack until start of the next turn when using a shield. That could be useful because I do a lot of pushing and sliding with this character. Once around, add wisdom modifier damage against enemy marked by you. I don't have a good wisdom, so it doesn't matter. Fire weapon. +1 to AC until end of next turn when you hit with your fighter weapon, talent weapon. So basically every time... So this is basically every time I hit with my one-handed weapon, which I'm always going to be doing, I get a +1 bonus to AC, which is massively useful. Little fighter. Hit your marked target with... Maybe hit a target marked with you with a two... No, I don't have a two-handed weapon. Crit with light blade. I don't have a light blade, I have a heavy blade. Can follow up a melee basic attack after first crit with a fighter attack on your turn, but take -2 AC. So this, when you miss a creature with a martial power that has the reliable keyword. I don't think I had any reliable ones. You can spend an action point as a free action when an enemy you mark triggers your combat challenge class feature and hit it with an attack. The attack does +2 weapon damage. So instead of hitting it, I can just knock it prone. Enemies take... Nope. Forgo second wind. Bonus to defense to make a melee basic. Oh, so if you take a second wind, you get a bunch of bonuses to your defense, and you get to spend a healing surge. So it's a self-heal that all classes can do. This, you can not take the bonuses to your second wind to just make another attack. You get you get to make a melee basic attack instead of using your turn just to heal. I think I like that, so I'm going to choose that. Any other cool things? Enemies gain no attack bonus from combat advantage when using a shield. That's really useful. Slow enemies marked by you. Slow enemies marked by you hit by your opportunity. Oh, what's that mean? Oh, you slow enemies whenever you hit them with an opportunity attack. Okay. So I'm not too thrilled with the rest of the fighter class features or feats, but there's a couple Dragonborn ones that I really liked. So I like being able to set people on fire. So definitely doing that. And then I like this too, where I just get to light my sword on fire too. Because why would you want to do that? And then, yeah, Dragon Breath is an opportunity attack. Of course. And then we get into the Epic Destiny feats. So any of the ones with the 21st level thing. Conflagration Breath. Dragon Breath area can become zone that lasts until end of next turn. Deals 10 fire damage to creatures who enter start. So now, the one problem with it is it's all creatures and not just enemies. So that would be bad. Regain Dragon Breath with second wind. Oh, so I could do Dragon Breath again if I use second wind. Regain Dragon Breath when you drop a non-minion enemy. So this just lets me keep dragon breathing over and over and over again, which I like. I really like how this character's turning out, because it's just marking everybody and doing all that stuff. What other cool stuff? So this is cool. So ally adjacent to combat challenge attack target can make an opportunity attack against it. Basically, when I make my opportunity attack because of combat challenge, another ally of mine can do it as well if they're next to me. So that's kind of cool. I really want to just get, like, I want to be able to just breathe my Dragon Breath over and over and over again. Because I pumped up this Dragon Breath incredibly so that most of the time I'm playing this character, I have all these other cool things, but then I'm also just going blah over and over again. So I want to do that. And I want to regain Dragon Breath with second wind because I have to. Because it's that, again, that would mean that I could just continually keep breathing on people. I just love that idea. Crushing Grab. I'm not grabbing. I didn't do that fighting Sissa style. Combat challenge. Mark enemy adjacent. Alright, so what? When you mark an enemy with combat challenge, you can mark one additional enemy adjacent. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta check how combat challenge works again, because I'm forgetting. Come on, combat agility, combat challenge. Whenever a mark you is not adjacent to you, he is adjacent to you and shifts or makes an attack. Okay, so that's what it is. The combat challenge is... okay, yeah. Nope, now I remember. So that's, yeah, that's still the... So, We already looked at that. Where did you go? Sustain grab. So we mark an enemy with combat challenge. You can mark one additional enemy adjacent to that enemy. So this just lets me mark twice instead of once. Which is really, really useful. So I want that. What other cool stuff do I have? 21st Combat Challenge. Inevitable Challenge. Oh, this is cool. So whenever you miss with a melee basic attack through Combat Challenge, target still takes damage. So you're still going to take damage. What other cool stuff? Overwhelming Impact. That's a hammer one. Practice Reliability. Add reliable keyword to a single target, single attack. So choose a fighter attack power that you know has single target and a single attack roll. That power gains reliable. So what reliable is... Reliable is it means that if you miss with the attack, you don't use up the attack. It's normally just on daily attack powers, but I don't think I've ever seen it on an encounter, but you theoretically could. At will powers, it would be pointless on. So that, what's this? First time you use the immediate interrupt granted by your combat challenge feature each round, it does not count towards the normal limit of the number of immediate actions you can take in one round. You still kind of use this more than once per triggering event. So you do have a limited number of immediate actions you can use, or immediate interrupts you can do in a round, which I was unaware of. But again, it's been a long time since I've played, so that would be kind of cool. It gives me extra immediate interrupts I could use. Slashing Storm. That's kind of cool. When you miss with a melee attack per firepower with reliable, so that's another reliable. See, the fighter stuff I just don't think is anywhere near as interesting as a lot of. So where am I on? I have 3 more feats that I can choose. So I'm gonna go back here. Is there any other things that I think is really cool? Low light. Oh, that would be really useful. Low light vision. That's basically dark vision. So I'm gonna get dark vision. Totally. So starting next turn, creature with the dragon breath. All right. Is Dragon Breath a minor? Oh, Dragon Breath is a minor action. Damn! I didn't even realize that. That changes things. Holy crap. That's just a minor action. So I can get combat advantage. That's useful. I'm going to definitely do Surprising Breath. Because I minor action, then go in and do some more. Oh, that's cool. Alright, cool. And let's just, +1 to will, 2 saving throws against charm. That's cool. So we've got that. And then I get my ability score increases, which are going to be strength and dex for the most part. So strength, dex. I don't want con, I want strength, dex, strength, dex, strength, dex, strength, and dex. Alright, so I think, don't want to save anything. So we have Dar, the level 30 Dragonborn fighter. Now, I don't know if it's going to let me do this. We're going to try it though. So we're going to open up character sheet. There we go. You guys can't see it yet, but I can. I'll fix that in a second. So if I do this, didn't do it, so we're going to go properties, There we go. Okay, and then we do that. Oh, and I have to turn that off. There we go. So, here is our Dragonborn fighter. Again, this is the boring Dragonborn. This is the boring fighter. This is using only stuff from the Player's Handbook. And the one thing that we didn't do is we didn't give them any magic items. Normally, you would have a lot of magic items by the time you're level 30. So understand that all of the attack rolls, the AC, everything is actually going to be low for this character because we don't have any magic items on them. And magic items are required in FFA 4th edition to the point where there is a button I can push on the character builder that will act as if we don't have magic. Well, here, let me do that. Let me see if I can do that real quick. So inherent bonuses is what you do. So we'll do that. And that just kind of makes up for the fact that, let's see if it'll do this or no, I have to redo it again. So give me a second. Boom, boom. There we go. Okay. So, this is, if we had gone through and picked magic items, which the magic items are super, super cool. Maybe if you guys really enjoy this, we will bring Dar back, and we will go through picking some magic items for his level 30 badass self. But this is what you would see if you did have the right magic items and everything. So, as of right now, he's got a plus 21 to his initiative. Everything in 4th edition is bigger. His AC is 40. His fortitude defense is 42. Reflex is 39. Will is 33. He has a passive insight of 26. Passive perception of 27. And that's with his abysmal wisdom and intelligence scores. His melee basic attack is plus 34 to attack with his broadsword. And it's 2d10 plus 19. So that's anytime I make that opportunity attack, I'm doing 2d10 plus 19. My healing surge, my max hit point is 205. I'm bloodied at 102. My surge value is 54. And I have 12 surges a day because your the number of surges a day are based off of your constitution modifier and some other stuff. So really cool there. And then we have all these other things. But let's go down to the really fun part. These are all my different feats and class path and epic destiny stuff, Paragon path and stuff there. This is my other stuff. That's my picture. We're going to go all the way down. So here is my little cheat sheet card that I really like. These are all my different skills. You can see, like, the ones I've trained in. Athletics, I have a plus 27 to my athletics. 21 to my endurance, 23 to my intimidate. I'm a scary guy. My Kensei control action, you can spend an action point to reroll one attack roll, damage roll, skill check, or ability check instead of taking an extra action. So, yeah. And then, so we have that. Second wind, bull rush, and grab attack, I don't really care about. Also, opportunity attack doesn't matter. They just put it in here. So what I generally do with all this stuff is I just hide it because that's something that every single character can do. And opportunity attack is just useless because it just tells you, hey, you can make an opportunity attack. So, as you can see, I've got my combat challenge. So that's my attack whenever they do something I don't like. Cleave is my thing, and then you do one weapon plus 9. Normally, now it's 2 weapon plus 9, so I'm above level 24. So broadsword, I do 34 to attack, 2d10 plus 19 damage. And this is a basic attack. This is my regular attack. And then an enemy adjacent to you, other than the target, takes just 9 damage just for being there. Tide of Iron, the other at-will attack power I have, again, lets me push target 1 square, and then you can shift a square. So this is 2 weapon. Again, so it's level 21. It should be 2d10 plus 19. I don't know why it's not reflecting that there, because it did do that for here. Death, weird. So the math is wrong there, but it's easy enough to fix. Dragon Breath. So the way that this works is it's plus 36 to attack, and it does 3d10 plus 9 damage to all enemy creatures. Because remember, we took that feat. I don't know why it's not showing up here, but all enemy creatures in a 5x5 square attached to me. So yeah, like that is... And again, this is the thing. It's 36 versus the reflex defense. So this is the thing that I can keep getting back and just using it to mark targets over and over and over again, which is cool. We have my Master Stroke attack, so 36 2d10 plus 19 damage, which really isn't that amazing when you start comparing it to the fact that Cleave does the same thing. But again, this is from the Kensei. So yeah. Oh, and it's slightly more accurate. It's the plus 36 instead of plus 34. Warrior's Challenge. So that's, again, lets me hit for 3d10 plus 19. And then marks each enemy within 2 squares. That's cool. This one lets me attack twice. 3d10 plus 19 each attack. Cruel Reaper is everybody next to me. 2d10 plus 19, and I can do that twice. Serpent Dance Strike. This lets me attack 4 times effectively, each one 2d10 plus 19. It's just this one you have to hit 4 different creatures with it. Weapon Soul Dance. 3d10 plus 19, and there are 3 different attacks that I get to do. I got my Reaper's stance here. I've got the Force the Battle stance. I've got Second Wind. My Get Over Here ability, where I just pull an ally to me. Yeah, and then these are all my different, utility powers that I have. So yes, this is Dar. I'm gonna go back up to here. This is Dar, the Kensai Fighter Demigod from D&D 4th edition. Like I said, I will spend unhealthy amounts of time in the 4th edition character builder because it's just fun coming up with weird characters. We can go back to this and then now. So yeah, this is something I do when I'm bored. 4th edition was such a crazy, amazing system that just lets you do weird shit over and over and over again. It was just nonsense and fun, and it's the thing that I love so much about it. I'm gonna go ahead and save this just so that if we too decide to come back to this character and maybe add some magic items to it, because the magic items are nonsense in this game, and I can close that. But yeah, I love it so much. And there is an RPG. I think it's 13 Age. Is that what it is? I believe it's 13 Age. Where are you? Book of Ages, Book of Demons, Book of Loot, Crown of Access. Where is the core book? Is it this one? I don't know. 13 Age, though, is effectively kind of a combination, if I remember correctly. 13 Age is effectively a combination between 4th edition and kind of Pathfinder 3rd edition, where it takes the kind of power system and stuff from 4th edition and some of the kind of complexity from 3rd edition and puts them together into a really, really cool system. And so I am really, really interested in eventually trying out 13 Age. It is a beast of a it's a beast of a system, but it looks like something that I would really, really enjoy. So maybe that'll be something. If you guys are interested in like an in-depth review of like the 13th Age core book or something, let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, again, I hope you guys had fun. I enjoy doing stuff like this. I enjoy building nonsense characters. I think I've done one before where I built a character with you guys in 5th edition, which I can do again. We can use D&D Beyond and do the exact same thing. We can build, because they have an online character builder, not an official one, but somebody's made a really good one. If you guys want to see me build an Open Legend character that's pure nonsense, because Open Legend is another system that I really, really enjoy. We can do that. I enjoy building characters. I think it's fun. And again, 4th edition is still my pick for just the most nonsense, fun characters to build. Compared to any other system, I've had more fun building 4th edition characters for hours upon hours than any other system. The other thing I like about it was, again, using the character builder, which isn't that different from building it from the books. If we didn't have the character builder and I just had the book in front of me, because we only used the player's handbook, we literally could have done that exact thing. So we just created a max level character and leveled them up from 1 all the way able to 30 in less than an hour and a half. Like, building characters in 4th edition is remarkably simple, especially compared to 3rd edition. But even compared to 5th edition, once you start dealing with like magic type characters, it can get really, really mind-numbingly just kind of boring building high level characters in 5th edition. Like, maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow. If you guys want, again, let me know in the comments. If you guys want, we will build a max level 5th edition character using D&D Beyond, and just see how long it takes for us to build a level 20 character in that and see if it's any different. This to me was super fun, and was just really, really fast and great, and we got to do cool stuff. But anyway, that's gonna be all for me. I will see you guys in the next time. All right, bye bye.